Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces available to any human being, yet it is often overlooked because it seems too simple. People search for success, confidence, happiness, fulfillment, and peace in complicated strategies, expensive solutions, and distant goals. They tell themselves that life will finally become meaningful when they achieve more, earn more, own more, or become more. But there is a hidden truth that changes everything. The quality of your life is determined less by what you possess and more by what you appreciate. Most people wake up every day focused on what is missing. They focus on problems, obstacles, disappointments, and limitations. Their minds become trained to search for reasons to feel frustrated, worried, or discouraged. When you constantly focus on what is lacking, your energy decreases, your motivation weakens, your relationships suffer. Even your greatest achievements begin to feel empty because no accomplishment can satisfy a mind that is conditioned to notice only what it does not have. Gratitude changes that pattern instantly. Gratitude shifts your attention from scarcity to abundance. It reminds you that even in difficult moments, there are blessings surrounding you. There are people who care about you. There are lessons that have shaped you. There are opportunities that others would be grateful to receive. There is strength inside you that has carried you through challenges you once thought were impossible to overcome. Think about the hardest moments of your life. At the time, they may have seemed unfair, painful, or overwhelming, yet many of those experiences taught you resilience. They revealed strengths you did not know you possessed. They forced you to grow, adapt, and evolve. What once appeared to be a setback may have become one of the greatest turning points in your life. Gratitude allows you to recognize that every experience contains value, even when that value is not immediately visible. Gratitude is not pretending that life is perfect. It is not ignoring problems or denying pain. It is choosing to acknowledge that alongside every challenge, there is still something worth appreciating. A grateful person does not avoid reality. A grateful person sees reality more completely. They see both the struggle and the opportunity. They see both the obstacle and the lesson. They see both the storm and the strength it develops. The most successful people understand something important. Energy flows where attention goes. If your attention is constantly fixed on fear, you will experience more fear. If your attention is fixed on limitations, you will notice more limitations. But when your attention is directed toward appreciation, possibility, and opportunity, your mind begins searching for more reasons to feel empowered. Gratitude becomes a filter through which you view the world. And that filter changes everything. Imagine starting every morning by focusing on what is already working in your life. Imagine appreciating your health, your family, your friends, your experiences, your knowledge, your growth, and even the simple gift of another day. That mindset creates a different emotional state. You stand taller, you think clearer, you act with greater confidence. You become more resilient because your foundation is built on appreciation rather than complaint. Gratitude also transforms relationships. Every human being wants to feel valued. Every human being wants to know that their efforts matter. When you genuinely appreciate people and express that appreciation, connections deepen. Trust grows. Love becomes stronger. Too often people take their closest relationships for granted while chasing things that seem more urgent. They assume there will always be more time to express thanks, more opportunities to show appreciation, more chances to acknowledge the people who matter most. But gratitude reminds us that every moment is precious and every relationship deserves recognition. One of the greatest traps in life is believing that happiness exists somewhere in the future. People say, I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I buy the house. I'll be happy when I reach the goal. But happiness continually moves further away because the destination keeps changing. Gratitude breaks this cycle. It teaches you to experience fulfillment now while still pursuing growth. It allows you to enjoy the journey instead of postponing joy until some future achievement. When gratitude becomes a habit, challenges lose their power to defeat you. Difficult situations still occur, but they no longer control your emotional state. You begin asking better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what can this teach me? Instead of focusing on what has been lost, you focus on what remains. Instead of becoming a victim of circumstances, you become a student of life. The remarkable thing about gratitude is that it costs nothing, yet its value is immeasurable. It requires no special talent, no extraordinary resources, and no perfect conditions. It is available to everyone every day, in every situation. The moment you choose gratitude, you reclaim your power. You stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotional experience. You become the author of your perspective. There will always be reasons to complain. There will always be challenges to face and obstacles to overcome. But there will also always be reasons to be grateful. The direction of your life depends on which one you choose to focus on. Gratitude is not simply an emotion. It is a discipline. It is a mindset. It is a decision made repeatedly until it becomes part of who you are. The people who live the richest lives are not necessarily those who possess the most. They are often those who appreciate the most. They understand that gratitude multiplies joy, strengthens resilience, deepens relationships, and creates a sense of abundance that no amount of money can buy. They have discovered a secret that changes everything. When you learn to appreciate what you have, you create the foundation for everything you want to become. That is why gratitude is a superpower. It transforms how you think, how you feel, how you act, and ultimately how you live. The moment gratitude becomes your daily practice, your entire world begins to change, not because the world itself changes, but because you do. Most people spend a large part of their lives focusing on what they do not have. They look at their goals and see the distance between where they are and where they want to be. They compare themselves to others who appear more successful, more talented, wealthier, or happier. Day after day, their minds become trained to notice limitations, shortcomings, and unmet expectations. Without realizing it, they develop a scarcity mindset. Scarcity is not simply a lack of resources. It is a way of thinking. It is the belief that there is never enough, that something important is always missing, and that fulfillment exists somewhere beyond the present moment. This mindset creates a powerful emotional burden. When people focus on what is absent, they experience frustration instead of appreciation, anxiety instead of confidence, and dissatisfaction instead of joy. Even when positive things happen, they often fail to enjoy them because their attention immediately shifts to the next problem or the next goal. They become trapped in a cycle where no achievement feels sufficient. Every accomplishment quickly loses its value because the mind continues searching for what is lacking. Gratitude breaks this cycle by changing the direction of your focus. Instead of concentrating on what is missing, gratitude encourages you to recognize what is already present. It reminds you to appreciate the opportunities, relationships, experiences, and strengths that exist in your life right now. This shift may seem small, but it has enormous consequences. The moment you begin noticing what you have instead of obsessing over what you lack, your emotional state begins to change. You start seeing abundance where you once saw scarcity. Abundance does not mean having unlimited wealth or a perfect life. It means recognizing the value that already surrounds you. It means understanding that there are countless blessings that often go unnoticed because they have become familiar. The ability to wake up each morning, the support of family and friends, the lessons learned through experience, the skills you have developed, and the opportunities available to you are all forms of abundance. When you truly appreciate these things, you begin to realize that your life contains far more value than you previously acknowledged. The human mind naturally focuses on problems because it is designed to protect us from danger. While this instinct may have helped our ancestors survive, it can create unnecessary stress in modern life. Gratitude acts as a counterbalance. It trains your mind to notice possibilities instead of obstacles. It helps you develop a broader perspective, allowing you to see both challenges and opportunities rather than becoming consumed by difficulties alone. When gratitude becomes a daily practice, it changes how you interpret your circumstances. A setback becomes a lesson. A challenge becomes a chance to grow. A delay becomes an opportunity to prepare. Instead of feeling deprived by what you do not have, you become empowered by what you do have. This does not eliminate ambition or the desire for improvement. In fact, gratitude often fuels greater achievement because it creates a positive emotional foundation from which growth can occur. People who operate from abundance are not necessarily luckier than others. They simply see the world differently. They recognize resources where others see limitations. They appreciate progress instead of obsessing over perfection. They understand that true wealth begins in the mind. By practicing gratitude consistently, you train yourself to live from a place of abundance, and that shift transforms not only how you feel, but also how you approach every opportunity in life. Life has a way of testing every person. No matter how strong, talented, intelligent, or prepared someone may be, challenges are unavoidable. There will be moments of disappointment, failure, loss, rejection, and uncertainty. These experiences often arrive without warning, disrupting plans and forcing people into situations they never expected. During these difficult times, it is easy to become overwhelmed by frustration and focus solely on the pain. Yet some people emerge from adversity stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. One of the key differences is their ability to find gratitude even in the midst of hardship. When challenges occur, the natural reaction is often to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" This question tends to focus attention on the unfairness of the situation. It encourages a victim mindset that can leave people feeling powerless. Gratitude shifts the focus in a different direction. Instead of asking why something happened, gratitude encourages a person to ask, "What can I learn from this?" That simple change in perspective transforms a painful experience into an opportunity for growth. Every challenge carries a lesson. Failure teaches humility and persistence. Rejection teaches resilience and self-belief. Loss teaches appreciation for what truly matters. Difficulties force people to develop strengths they might never have discovered under comfortable circumstances. Many of the qualities that define strong individuals, courage, determination, patience, discipline, and perseverance, are not built during easy times. They are forged through adversity. Think about some of the most significant breakthroughs in your life. Chances are they did not come during periods of complete comfort. They likely emerged after moments of struggle when you were forced to adapt, learn, and grow. The experiences that once seemed like obstacles may have become the very events that shaped your character and prepared you for future success. Gratitude allows you to recognize this hidden value within hardship. This does not mean pretending that painful experiences are enjoyable. Pain is real, and difficult situations can be emotionally challenging. Gratitude is not about denying those feelings. It is about refusing to let pain be the only thing you see. Even during the darkest moments, there are often lessons, opportunities, and strengths developing beneath the surface. Gratitude helps you identify them. When people face adversity with gratitude, they begin to see challenges as temporary rather than permanent. They understand that every difficult season eventually passes. This perspective creates emotional resilience because it prevents setbacks from defining their identity. Instead of viewing themselves as victims of circumstances, they see themselves as individuals who are capable of overcoming obstacles and learning from every experience. Gratitude also helps people recognize the support that surrounds them during difficult times. In moments of struggle, friends, family members, mentors, and even strangers often provide encouragement and assistance. Without gratitude, these acts of support can go unnoticed. With gratitude, people become more aware of the relationships and resources available to them, making challenges feel less overwhelming. One of the most powerful realizations in life is understanding that growth and comfort rarely exist together. Every meaningful achievement requires stepping beyond familiar limits. Every major transformation involves uncertainty. Gratitude helps people embrace this reality because it teaches them to value the growth that comes from discomfort. Instead of resisting challenges, they begin to appreciate them as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. The ability to find gratitude during adversity does not remove obstacles, but it changes how those obstacles are experienced. What once seemed like a burden becomes a lesson. What once appeared to be a setback becomes preparation for something greater. Over time, this mindset builds extraordinary strength, allowing individuals to face future challenges with greater confidence, knowing that every difficulty carries the potential for growth and transformation. Your focus determines your experience of life. Every day, countless events happen around you, yet you do not notice all of them. Your mind constantly filters information and decides what deserves your attention. This process happens automatically, but it has a powerful impact on how you think, feel, and act. If your attention is focused on problems, disappointments, and limitations, your emotional state will reflect those things. If your attention is focused on opportunities, progress, and appreciation, your emotional state will move in a completely different direction. Gratitude is one of the most effective tools for controlling where your focus goes, and as a result, where your energy flows. Many people begin their day by immediately focusing on stress. They think about unfinished tasks, financial pressures, mistakes they have made, or challenges they are facing. Before they even leave their homes, their minds are already filled with worry and tension. This focus drains energy because the brain responds to whatever receives the most attention. When problems dominate your thoughts, your body reacts as though those problems are the most important reality in your life. Stress increases, motivation decreases, and your ability to see possibilities becomes limited. Gratitude interrupts this pattern. It redirects your attention toward what is working rather than what is missing. It encourages you to notice the positive aspects of your life that often go overlooked. The simple act of appreciating something good can create an immediate shift in your emotional state. When you focus on what you are grateful for, your mind begins searching for additional reasons to feel thankful. This creates a positive cycle that generates energy, enthusiasm, and optimism. Energy is one of the most valuable resources a person possesses. It affects productivity, relationships, decision-making, and overall quality of life. People often assume energy comes only from physical factors such as sleep, exercise, or nutrition. While those elements are important, mental focus plays an equally significant role. Two individuals can face the same circumstances, yet one feels empowered while the other feels exhausted. The difference often lies in what they choose to focus on. Gratitude creates emotional energy because it shifts attention away from helplessness and toward possibility. When you recognize the resources, strengths, and opportunities already available to you, you begin to feel more capable of handling challenges. Confidence grows because your mind is no longer consumed by what is lacking. Instead, it becomes aware of what can be used to move forward. This shift in focus also influences how you respond to setbacks. Without gratitude, obstacles can appear larger than they really are. Every problem feels like evidence that life is working against you. Gratitude creates balance by helping you see challenges within a broader context. A difficult situation becomes one part of your life rather than the entire story. This perspective prevents negativity from consuming your energy and allows you to remain focused on solutions. Another remarkable aspect of gratitude is its ability to influence the people around you. Energy is contagious. People naturally respond to those who radiate appreciation, positivity, and encouragement. A grateful person tends to inspire others because their focus is directed toward possibilities instead of complaints. Their presence creates an environment where people feel valued and motivated. Over time, gratitude becomes more than an occasional feeling. It becomes a habit of attention. Your mind learns to look for opportunities instead of obstacles, progress instead of perfection, and possibilities instead of limitations. As this habit strengthens, your emotional energy increases, your resilience improves, and your outlook becomes more empowering. The circumstances around you may not immediately change, but your experience of those circumstances transforms because your focus is now aligned with growth, appreciation, and possibility rather than fear and scarcity. Human relationships are among the most valuable parts of life. Success, wealth, achievements, and possessions may bring temporary satisfaction, but the quality of your relationships often determines the quality of your happiness. Every person wants to feel respected, appreciated, and valued. Yet in the rush of daily life, people frequently overlook the importance of expressing gratitude to those around them. They become so focused on responsibilities, goals, and challenges that they forget to acknowledge the people who support them along the way. Gratitude has the power to transform relationships because it fulfills one of the deepest emotional needs every human being has, the need to feel significant. Many relationships do not fail because of a lack of love or care. They weaken because appreciation is left unspoken. People often assume that their family members, friends, colleagues, or partners already know how much they are valued. While that may be true, hearing words of appreciation and seeing acts of gratitude creates a powerful emotional connection. When people feel recognized for their efforts, they become more engaged, supportive, and committed to the relationship. Gratitude shifts attention away from flaws and towards strengths. Every person has imperfections, and if you focus only on mistakes or shortcomings, frustration naturally grows. Over time, this can create distance and resentment. Gratitude encourages a different perspective. It helps you notice the qualities, contributions, and positive characteristics that make people valuable. The more you focus on what you appreciate about someone, the stronger your connection becomes. This principle applies to all types of relationships. In families, gratitude creates warmth and unity. When parents express appreciation to their children and children express appreciation to their parents, mutual respect grows. Family members begin to feel seen and understood rather than taken for granted. Small acts of gratitude, such as acknowledging someone's effort or expressing thanks for their support, can have a lasting impact. In friendships, gratitude deepens trust and loyalty. True friendships are built on more than shared experiences. They are strengthened by mutual appreciation. When you openly recognize the value a friend brings to your life, the relationship becomes more meaningful. Gratitude reminds people that their presence matters, and this strengthens the bond between them. In professional environments, gratitude can dramatically improve teamwork and leadership. Employees who feel appreciated are often more motivated and engaged. Leaders who regularly acknowledge the contributions of others create stronger, more productive teams. Appreciation fosters trust, and trust creates an environment where people are willing to collaborate, innovate, and support one another. Gratitude also plays a critical role during difficult times in relationships. Conflicts and misunderstandings are inevitable, but appreciation provides perspective. When challenges arise, gratitude helps you remember the positive aspects of the relationship rather than focusing solely on the problem. This does not mean ignoring issues that need to be addressed. Instead, it creates a balanced view that allows for constructive communication rather than emotional reactions. One of the greatest dangers in relationships is familiarity. The longer people know each other, the easier it becomes to overlook their value. What was once appreciated becomes expected. Acts of kindness become routine. Support becomes assumed. Gratitude protects relationships from this trap by continually reminding you of the gifts others bring into your life. It prevents appreciation from fading simply because something has become familiar. When gratitude becomes a regular practice, relationships begin to flourish. People feel more connected, respected, and understood. Communication improves because appreciation creates openness and trust. Small moments become more meaningful because they are recognized rather than ignored. Over time, gratitude transforms relationships from ordinary connections into powerful sources of support, encouragement, and joy, creating bonds that can withstand challenges and grow stronger through every season of life. One of the most common habits that prevents people from experiencing happiness is the belief that fulfillment exists somewhere in the future. Many people spend their lives chasing a destination they believe will finally bring them joy. They tell themselves, I will be happy when I get the promotion. I will be happy when I earn more money. I will be happy when I buy the house, start the business, lose the weight, or achieve the goal. This way of thinking creates a dangerous pattern because happiness becomes permanently attached to conditions that have not yet been met. As a result, people postpone joy while waiting for a future that never seems to arrive. The problem is not having goals. Ambition is important. Growth is essential. Progress gives life purpose and direction. The real problem begins when people convince themselves that happiness can only exist after success. They place their emotional well-being on hold until circumstances change. Every achievement becomes a stepping stone to another achievement rather than a moment to appreciate and celebrate. Instead of enjoying the journey, they spend their lives chasing the next milestone. This habit creates what can be called the arrival illusion. It is the belief that reaching a particular destination will solve all emotional dissatisfaction. Yet history is filled with examples of people who achieved extraordinary success and still felt unfulfilled. They reached the goal they once dreamed about, only to discover that the sense of satisfaction was temporary. Soon, a new desire appeared, and the cycle began again. The destination changed, but the habit of postponing happiness remained the same. Gratitude breaks this cycle by bringing attention back to the present moment. It teaches people to appreciate where they are while still striving for where they want to go. Instead of viewing happiness as a reward that must be earned in the future, gratitude allows people to experience fulfillment now. It reminds them that life is not happening someday. It is happening today. Every day contains moments worth appreciating, regardless of whether every goal has been achieved. When gratitude becomes part of daily life, people begin to recognize that many of the things they once prayed for are already part of their reality. The opportunities they currently have may have been goals they dreamed about years ago. The relationships they enjoy today may have once seemed impossible. The knowledge, experience, and growth they possess were earned through challenges they have already overcome. Gratitude helps them recognize these accomplishments instead of immediately shifting attention to what remains unfinished. This mindset creates a healthier relationship with success. Goals no longer become sources of pressure or emotional dependency. Instead, they become exciting opportunities for growth. People continue to pursue excellence, but their happiness is no longer dependent on the outcome. They understand that fulfillment is not found at the end of the journey. It is found in the way the journey is experienced. Gratitude also helps people enjoy small victories that might otherwise be ignored. Too often, individuals accomplish something meaningful and then immediately focus on the next challenge. They rarely pause to acknowledge their progress. As a result, life begins to feel like an endless race with no finish line. Gratitude encourages celebration of progress, no matter how small. It creates moments of joy throughout the journey rather than reserving joy for a distant future. The future will always contain new goals, new ambitions, and new dreams. There is nothing wrong with pursuing them. The key is learning to appreciate the present while moving toward the future. Gratitude allows people to hold both ideas at the same time, the desire for growth and the ability to appreciate what already exists. When this balance is achieved, happiness is no longer delayed. It becomes part of everyday life, creating a sense of fulfillment that grows stronger with each step forward rather than remaining forever out of reach. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that gratitude is far more than a simple feeling of thankfulness. It is a force that can transform the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you experience life. It has the power to turn scarcity into abundance, challenges into opportunities, and ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings. When you choose gratitude, you are choosing to focus on possibilities instead of limitations, growth instead of fear, and appreciation instead of complaint. The truth is that life will never be perfect. There will always be obstacles to overcome, goals yet to achieve, and uncertainties that test your strength. But happiness does not come from waiting for a perfect life. It comes from recognizing the value that already exists within the life you have today. The more grateful you become, the more you discover that many of the things you have been searching for have been within your reach all along. Every day presents a choice. You can focus on what is missing, or you can focus on what is present. You can focus on problems, or you can focus on possibilities. You can allow circumstances to control your mindset, or you can use gratitude to take control of your perspective. That choice may seem small, but repeated day after day, it has the power to shape your destiny. So begin today, appreciate the people who support you, value the lessons that challenges have taught you, celebrate your progress, no matter how small, recognize the opportunities that surround you, make gratitude a daily practice rather than an occasional reaction. When you do, you will discover a strength, peace, and fulfillment that no external achievement can provide. Gratitude is not just a habit, it is a superpower. And the moment you embrace it, you unlock the ability to create a richer, stronger, and more meaningful life than you ever imagined possible.